Hello, my loves. I'm live. It says I'm live. Okay. It's been a hot minute and I'm in a new space and I can't see any comments at the moment. So if you are here and you can hear me, please let me know and say hello. Oh, I see some hearts. Yay! If somebody could comment so that I can see where the comments pop up, that would be awesome. Oh, there you are. Hi, Brandy. Oh, you love my space. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I have had this bookcase, but I decided that I needed to be in a new space. So I reconfigured my new space for videos. So, okay, let's dive in. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm excited for others of you to tune in, whether you're live or you're on the replay. I'm just grateful to have you here. I have been very much away from social media, and it's feeling really beautiful. I'm not going to lie. It's been very freeing, very liberating. And as someone like myself who is super sensitive, highly empathic, and connects very deeply to the consciousness of the collective consciousness and bodies of energy, bodies of consciousness, it was feeling and has been feeling very overstimulating for me. So that is one of the reasons why you have seen a bit less of me in this space. So I just wanted to share that if you are a highly sensitive or empathic soul like I am, if you are highly intuitive and connected to all of the beautiful spiritual realms, sometimes it's okay to let yourself take a step back, unplug, and really fill up in your own well, in your own energy. I've also been receiving the message recently that not everybody is entitled to your energy, and it's really important to not necessarily protect and guard, but to make sure that you are fueling and filling yourself and really receiving or consuming content, energy, people, places, things, newsletters, music, like all of the things that are going to be expansive for you, that are going to be uplifting for you, that are going to be inspiring for you, that are going to fuel your light, that are going to fuel your light. So please bring some mindful awareness to the spaces or places that do not feel like they're feeding your light, and allow yourself to take some space from that if you need to. So that's a little bit about what I have been doing in my world. So my topic for tonight's video is the destination is not just like the thing. The journey is the thing, and the journey of trusting yourself is the thing. So I feel that I can share a bit more about this through what I have recently been going through. So hence the Life with Lisa topic, and whatever messages and lessons and all the things that come through, I pray serve you deeply, uplift you, and bring some light into your world tonight. So let's dive in. Over the last few months, honestly, I would say mid to end of August, September, and the last I guess almost 2 weeks of October, I have been in a major recalibration. So some of you know this, some of you may not. I actually released my 15-year career as a massage therapist in June, and July was a really powerful month for me. I was able to, like, all of the things that I had kind of started for the year, and my desires, my dreams, my manifestations, all of the things really came into fruition during the first half of the year and through July, I would say. And in August, I started getting together my first signature course that I launched first live, so the Chakra Alchemy course. I did it live, and that ended in July as well. And there's been this pivotal shift for me after the month of July and through August and September and now into October. And it's been this really strong energy of recalibrating and reevaluating and looking at what has been going on over the last previous year. And I'm sharing this with you because it's not just me, right? This is my personal experience, but it's not just me. I know that this is a collective theme. A lot of us are going through similar recalibrations, similar evaluations, similar karmic lessons and clearings and things that we are of lifetimes that we are releasing and shedding and recalibrating to this higher level of beingness, to this new way of living and being, to this new lifestyle, right? Transforming into this new person. Or not necessarily a new person, but a higher version of you, a higher aligned, higher soul aligned version of you. And when we go through that process, it's not just an instantaneous thing that occurs. Yes, shifts and magic and healing and activations and like all of this happens in a moment's time, in a split-second time, right? But it's also a culmination of all of these small moments over time, over the journey, that are the most important. That is what matters. It is not just, great, I got here, and you're like done. It's, you got there, awesome, and you get to appreciate where you're at, awesome, and you get to hang out and ground into that space, awesome. And also the journey to getting there was really, really, really important. And we have to learn to trust ourselves through the whole part of the journey. So here we go. We've been going. I feel like I'm awkward on camera because it's been a while. So, and I really, honestly, I have so much that's been going on. I'm almost like, what even do I share? Where am I at? So, not everybody has it all figured out. I want you to know that too. Like, I firmly believe that not everybody has it all figured out. If you had it all figured out, you'd be like done, gone, transitioned into your next level of beingness. So I want you to know that yes, I have a lot of wisdom. Yes, I have a lot of gifts to share. Yes, I, have a high level of expertise in the work that I do. And also, I'm a human being having a life experience, and I don't have it all fucking figured out. Like, I don't. I figure things out as I go. I jump in 2 feet head first into the deep end without knowing how to swim, and I just figure it out as I go. That is how I learn. That is how I experience life. That is how I've acquired so much wisdom and knowledge in the world, because I dive in and I get messy with it and I figure it out and I fail forward, right? I don't like the word failure. I don't believe in that anymore. As a previous perfectionist, I have released that statement from my being, that if I don't achieve something, or if the destination doesn't happen as I intended it to, or that I thought it was going to, or if I had this expectation, that if I don't meet that bar, then I failed. And I used to believe that a lot about myself. So if that is you, I feel you, I'm there for you, I totally get it. And also, failure does not exist when you get to see things as lessons and opportunities for growth. Everything is an opportunity for you to grow. So I have been growing a lot over the last couple of months. And one of my biggest growth experiences has been through the process of the Awe of Sedona retreat. I closed enrollment for that on Sunday. And this is my first public announcement of that. I did message a few of the people that were still curious about going, or I had connected with about it. And I closed the enrollment for the retreat and I canceled the retreat. And I'm going to tell you about my journey to getting here. And part of me is a little bit like still processing this experience. But the message is trusting yourself every step of the way. So I'm going to start at the end and work my way back. The end was on Sunday. I was deeply desiring clarity around this experience. And I had a very long meditation and conversations with my guides so that I could receive the clarity that I needed, because I've been doing my part throughout this whole process. The healing, the releasing work, the activations, the inner stuff, all of that. I knew that I had been doing my part through this whole journey, right? So I was still feeling really unclear, and I was still feeling this like push-pull back and forth energy. And if you have been following me for a while, you know that a clear signal is required. A clear signal is required for your desired manifestations. Hey Noelle, thanks for being here, beauty. So when you have push-pull energy in something that you are desiring to create, there's a few things that could be happening. So I'm going to share what this was like for me, because my guides had a very clear message and it made perfect sense once I allowed that information to come in more clearly. So again, starting at the end, and I'm going to work my way back. So the message was, because of all of the deep healing, activation work, inner work that I had been doing since the middle of August, all of the expansion and transformation work that I had been doing, I literally shifted out of the timeline, my future potential timeline, okay? So our future is in potentials. Our future is in possibilities, okay? And each of those possibilities, each of those potentials, I consider a timeline, okay? So you know where I'm coming from. If you have questions about this or want to comment, just ask along. I love answering questions if it doesn't make sense to you. So the message was that because of all this inner work that I had been doing, I actually transcended this timeline that had the retreat on it. And the second message that paired with that was the mission has already been accomplished. The mission had literally already been accomplished. I didn't even have to facilitate this retreat experience, not only for myself, but for the group of people that I was intending to create this with and for. The timelines had shifted so that all of the beings that were meant to be in this experience, or that were drawn to this experience as I was going through the process of creating it, were also shifting their timelines so rapidly so that this one experience was no longer on, it's no longer on the timeline, it's no longer needed. It was no longer meant for me to facilitate, because we transcended those patterns already, because the missions had been accomplished, because the lessons had been learned, because so much shifted in such a small amount of time that the destination didn't fucking matter, because the journey had already been had. The journey of listening, the journey of trusting of the self, the journey of surrendering to the highest path, which was my path the entire time, and was also my intention for the souls who I had connected, the energy of this experience that I was connecting with, okay? So I hope you guys are following me. So if you're not, please let me know so that I can explain in a way that you can understand what I'm saying. So, long story longer, because those timelines had been transcended, the experience was feeling like this push-pull energy for me. I was like, but I'm there, but I'm not, but I'm there, but I'm not, but I see it, but I feel it, but I'm, all of the energy is there, like, what am I missing, right? So this was me, I'm like, what am I missing? Why isn't this clear? What isn't clear about it? Please tell me what it is. And it felt like this push-pull energy because my ego, not like the fear-based, like power hungry, whatever the fucking ego, my human self, that's a better word. I don't disregard the word ego. I don't want to use that word. I meant my human self, okay? So when our human self is trying to catch up to the higher timeline that our soul is now embodying and our soul is now at, our human self takes a little while to recalibrate and rise into that new energetic space. So when that is occurring, when that process of rising and expansion and getting into this higher soul aligned, thank you guys for the hearts, this higher soul aligned energy, the human self is all like, hold on, I thought we were doing this thing and we're doing this thing and I can see the thing and it's gonna be awesome and it's gonna be so awesome and I can't wait, right? And like that was all the feels, those were real, like the intentions were real, the energy was real, all of that was real. And also the soul self was all like, but you're not there anymore because you already did the work, because the patterns have already shifted, because the beliefs that you needed to release have already been released, because the identities you needed to release have already been released, because X, Y, and Z already happened. The lessons already happened. The mission was already accomplished. You just didn't realize that the mission was accomplished because you thought the mission was going to be accomplished by being in this place, by being at this destination. When in reality, the destination didn't fucking matter as much as the journey to getting there. So the journey of getting there has now been so much more powerful that the destination is now irrelevant. It has changed, it has shifted. So when this message came into me, on Sunday, I was like, oh fuck, okay, we gotta it's closed. It's literally closed. Enrollment is closed. We're closing this baby down. It's done. It already happened. My lessons of surrendering, my lessons of trusting myself, my lessons of letting my ego not freak out and be all like, you're a failure. People are gonna look at you like, oh my God, you said you were gonna do this and then you didn't do the thing, and all of these like fucking stories, right? And at the end of the day, none of that matters, because if I had continued this process, if I pushed it, if I pressured it, if I forced it, if I was coming from this like toxic masculine business energy of like, I've got to get the thing done, that is not of high service to myself or the humans that I am there to serve. Okay? Toxic masculine business is not of high service. Whoever needs to hear that. I don't know who needs to hear that. We're all learning to deconstruct toxic masculine business practices. And what I mean by that is force, push, shove your shit down the people's throat and convince them to do X, Y, and Z or whatever the fuck. None of that. That's not the vibe. That's not the fucking vibe. It is not the vibe. And in sharing that, when I facilitated, so this is also part of my process, I facilitated 2 in-person retreats at the beginning of 2019, and there was supposed to be a third. And I, at the time, had a toxic business partner / friend, and we partnered on these experiences. Now, I say that in hindsight. At the time, obviously, I did not know. You don't know what you know. You don't know what you don't know until you know, right? So during those experiences, my heart was pure, my intentions were pure, I was doing the things. We had 2 beautiful and blessed experiences where we were able to facilitate these miraculous, life-changing experiences for these groups of people, okay? And the third retreat in that series did not happen because of a few reasons. One, I started to see the light and I was all like, this is like, something's off. This isn't okay with me. And I wasn't able to voice that I knew this wasn't aligned. And what ended up happening, because I wasn't able to voice at the time what I knew was not aligned, and I wasn't fully trusting of myself in that experience, it led me into a whole slew of like a bit of a mess. So there was finances involved, there were relationship dynamics that were really getting funky. I had some like just funky things happening in my world, okay? And I ended up cutting it off with the toxic partner, friendship, all the things, and started like rebuilding my, what's the word? I guess reputation, I don't know. There was a lot of like gossip that she was trying to like slander my name and all kinds of like funky fucked up shit. Anyway, my message at that time was stay in my heart, because the people will feel your heart, and that's all that really matters. So fast forward, that's who I am. It's what I've done. It's who I am. I can't help it. So you're welcome for being heart-centered. I'm not perfect, but I'm very heart-centered. So fast forward, it was one of my lessons as well to go through this whole experience and be like, oh, actually, the message was like, trust yourself. Like, just trust yourself. And when you know that things are working and the intentions are moving forward and you're going with it, then you're trusting yourself and you're surrendering to the process and you're surrendering to the path. And that's what I was doing, right? I was doing my part. And also, sometimes trusting yourself is knowing when to let go. It's knowing when to let go. It is knowing that being strong is not always holding on. Being strong is not always holding on. Sometimes strong is letting the fuck go while you are ahead. Quitting while you are ahead. Quitting. Don't like that word either. But I do believe that it's important that when we are feeling something that starts to feel like this push-pull energy of like it was aligned and it was flowing and it was there and my intentions were set and everything was like going and going and going and going, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, let me like take a step back and see what else is happening here. That's where the inner work comes into play. Had I not been doing my inner work, this would not have occurred. A whole nother outcome would have happened, right? But because I was doing my own inner work, because I was following my path, because I was trusting the process of transformation, because I was trusting the process of expansion, because I was trusting the process of spiritual growth, right? I got to a place where I was like, what's this push-pull about? What is happening? What is this push-pull about? And then the clarity came in of, you're done with it. It's already done. Literally, it's already done. Like, close the door. Let it go. Goodbye. So, that is what I did. I closed the door. I let it go. I said goodbye. And I'm showing up here publicly to let you know that it's okay to try. I don't even like the word try, because I didn't try. I was doing the things. And even in doing the things, the alignment can shift. You are always aligned with something. Your soul is always aligned with something. But we are humans that have free will. So had I continued on this road, or tried to force, or tried to pressure, or tried to any of these things, there would have been a whole other outcome that probably would not have been as desirable, right? And this outcome is very desirable, because I immediately was like, wow, cool, this is great. And you know what happened? The people that I reached out to, who I was like, hey, just want to let you know, I closed enrollment for the retreat, and thank you for trusting yourself. That was literally my message. Every one of them responded. The doors that were still opened that I then closed, okay? the doors that were opened all reached out and said, you know, I was feeling this like push-pull. I didn't know, I was going back and forth. I really wanted to be there, but X, Y, and Z. And I'm really glad that, you know, I trusted myself because I learned something while I was going through the journey, in so many words, right? I'm like paraphrasing because there was a few of them. But every single one of them was like, I learned to trust myself. This was, yes, thank you so much for letting me know. I learned to trust myself. It was really good to have fun playing in that possibility. It was really good to explore and be curious about this type of a new opportunity. Or, wow, it really got me thinking about X, Y, and Z. Or, I was able to do this instead. Mission motherfucking accomplished without having to have the destination. So, my loves, I know I just went on a bit of a riff. It felt really good to do that. And I hope you received something out of it. And I want to also remind you that that is literally where the magic happens. That is where the magic happens. The magic happens when you trust yourself, when you go on the path, when you let go when it's time to let go, and when you continue persevering with determination and commitment and devotion, when you know that it is time to continue on, when you know that you are meant to continue on. Example, Oracle cards, literally channeled in 2018. It's 2021. We're still here. We're still here. We're still aligned in the getting of the messages out through the Oracle cards, right? So, some things, you learned the lesson, you move along and you let go. Other things are still in the works, are still moving you forward, are still important for you, are still a commitment for you, are still soul aligned for you. And they're carrying you into these new timelines. So listen to yourself and let go of what you need to let go of. And allow the new perspectives, and allow the new opportunities, and allow yourself to listen through action. Listen through action, okay? I listened through action by closing the doors of the retreat and then reaching out to the people. And they listened through action in their own ways. The mission was already accomplished because we all trusted ourselves, because I was divinely guided, because they were divinely guided, because everybody's fucking divinely guided at all times. But we also have free will. So what are you doing with the guidance? Are you listening to it? Or are you ignoring it? Or are you doubting it? Right? So if you have this like push-pull thing going on, it's cool. It's cool. You're shedding layers. I still have many layers of push-pull right now. And in my company, in my business, I have many layers right now of push-pull that I'm navigating, that I'm working with. That's some of what I'm navigating right now, because there has been this releasing of so many layers. There has been this so much of letting go that I'm literally embodying a whole new soul aligned frequency. That's what I was saying. You are always aligned with something, right? Always aligned with something. But you get to consciously and intentionally choose what you are aligning into, what you are desiring to align into, and not by gripping the handles and having to have all this control. It's about letting go and surrendering to the process while doing your part, right? I said that. I was doing my part. I was doing my part the entire time. It didn't look like how I thought it was supposed to look like. So I released the supposed to's, and I released the shoulds, and I released the pressure every step of the way. Let me tell you, lots of pressure. There was lots of pressure that I kept feeling built up within me of like, I'm supposed to do this, I've got to do this, I'm supposed to do this. And every time I felt that way, I was like, nope, let me take a step back. Let me look at this. Let me see what's going on. Because when you take aligned action, that is the energy that it is created in, right? So when you force things, when you push things, when you're hustling or like whatever the fuck, all of that like energy that I used to very much be in without even knowing that I was in it, it was just conditioning to like force and push and pressure and whatever. And when I realized that this pressure was like building in me of these like supposed to's and these shoulds, or these ideas that I had in my head that I was like, well, I have to do this or else this won't happen. It gave me the opportunity to sit back and be like, wait a second, what's actually aligned for me to do right now? What am I actually guided to do right now? What are the actions that are meant for me right now? And the majority of that was like, you gotta go in and do the work. You gotta go in and do the work so then your energy's aligned. You gotta go in and do the work so the energy's aligned. And that's always the work, but in this expansive experience, it was very, very, like a lot. It's been a lot, y'all. I haven't been on here much because I've been taking care of myself and my private clients, and that's been where all my energies, and my husband and my household, and that's where all of my energy's been going, right? So that's what happens when you expand. You expand. There's more inner work that needs to be happening. So while I was in those spaces, I was like, okay, what is this pressure? Let's release it. What is this pressure? Let's release it. What is this pressure? Let's release it. And every time that I went to take an action, it literally looked different than I thought it was supposed to. That's the lesson. So sometimes we think that we're supposed to be doing this, or we should be doing this, or should be doing that, or we're pressuring ourselves and placing all these expectations to like do this or do that or whatever the fuck. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And place your hands in your heart and ask for the guidance of the next best action step for you in that moment. And let yourself receive it, and let yourself listen, and let yourself follow it. And trust yourself in the process. Don't question it, don't doubt it, don't wonder why, because it doesn't make any logical sense. Like, I'm, launching a retreat and you want me to take a nap, why? I'm launching a retreat, you want me to go for a walk, why? I'm launching a retreat, you want me to do this EFT tapping practice, why? You want me to journal all of these stories that I have meandering in my mind, why? Right? I stopped questioning it and I just did the things because I was called to do those things. And then when I was guided to make an email, I wrote an email. And then when I was guided to make a post, I wrote a post, right? All of those things, all of those external action steps that I took were still soul aligned. They were still divinely guided. They were still full of my heart and full of my soul, pure soul intentions. They all still had all of that. But the timelines shifted. So the destination looked different. But it didn't matter because the journey of getting there was what mattered. Because every step of the way, I learned to trust myself a little bit more. And I learned to surrender to my plan a little bit more. Because when you ask for this or something better, the greater plan can then show you what the plan is. This was the greater plan. The greater plan was, it's already been done. The greater plan was, it's literally already done. I couldn't see that. And if I had seen it, I wouldn't have gone on the journey to get where I am now. Okay, let me see your comments. Do you guys have any questions? I'm feeling like some live guidance right now. Are you here? Would you like guidance on something? Hi, Brandy. Hey, Noelle. Hey, Jen. Oh, so right on. I'm so glad that you're resonating with the message, Jen. Oh, I know exactly what's best. You were thinking about this experience on Sunday. Happened to her in the beginning of this, but you think you know what's up. Yes, awesome. You're probably feeling my heart. Everybody's divinely fucking guided. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you are. And it's easy to like be a human and forget that sometimes. And it's also really easy to take a few minutes, raise your vibration, and connect with the beings that be so that you can receive the clear guidance that is meant for you. I'm going to choose a card for the collective while we're here, and then I'm going to sign off. Unless you guys want guidance on something, let us have a healing prayer. There it is, a healing prayer all together. What a perfect way to close out this miraculous experience together. A healing prayer for all. I call in all of my angels, spirits, and guides of love and light. I ask for this healing for the highest good of my body, mind, and soul. I give thanks for this healing and blessing. I release what no longer serves me at this time. I am ready to create the space for the new. I ask for this healing and for the release of any ailments in my physical body, any blocked energy in my emotional body, and for the purest evolution of my soul. I release and transmute it all now with white light that moves through me and surrounds me. I see myself as the light in the light, fully and completely healed and well. I am healing, I am healed, I am light and love. All is well, and so it is. It's a little impromptu energy work for you there too. Okay, and riff for tonight. I would love to know your greatest takeaway from this experience. Thank you for letting me share my heart with you. Thank you for letting me share my stories. I thank you for being here. Thank you for being in my world, in my energy, in this space, and I look forward to our next divine encounter. Mwah. Bye for now.